going to finish this game tonight. Good old Sakura MMO 3. We're going to get that done tonight. Of course, I will probably get the platinum off screen just because of the fact of, well, there's a lot of stuff you have to do to get the platinum, so I'll probably will do that off screen because I don't want to have you guys sit through that. We're just going to go for the one wonderful little story we have to do. Just let me get this posted on Facebook and then we'll be ready to go. Do 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 do. Because we will keep an eye on the Eagles-Packers game. Check in time to time to see how that one's going. As a matter of fact, let's see. Since I had to put it up on Facebook, let's see what that score is right now. Because I know the last time I looked, Eagles intercepted it. And they were already up 7-0. I know for my buddy Travis and Dave, they've had the Packers winning. So if the Eagles win this, I win this week no matter what. Which I'll gladly take. And enjoy that nice good old, at least picks in the for this week, win back-to-back weeks in picks. I just don't know if I'll be in first place or not till after tomorrow night. Eagles are up 13-0. How the hell do you go up there? They must have missed the 1-point kick, I guess. Let's see if that bites them back in the butt later, shall we? And I probably will be doing another stream after the Packers-Eagles game is over, but hey, so you get 2 streams tonight, everybody. No, I don't want to save. I want to start. Thank you. It'd be nice if we could relax after returning from our voyage at sea, but as the saying goes, there's no rest for the wicked, and money don't grow on trees, 'cause I got bills to pay and mouths to feed. The moment we arrive on mainland, we head towards Roseberry Forest, where the sentient sycamore dwells, I guess the tree. We walk through the forest together, our faces set and grimly determined. We can't afford to stop, not now. Not when we're so close. The trees thin out, and we zoom into a spacious clearing. It's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. A small river runs around a small island, and where the tall, imposing tree stands, it brought spread and coiled with ropes of ivy. The sentient sycamore. I raise my head and glare at the tree. I am not close enough to trigger its fighting instincts. It remains deceptively still and silent, like the other trees in the forest. The thought that the underworld lurks beneath that tree is ludicrous, but I know it to be true. That's what the book in the Forbidden Library said. To open up the way to the underworld, one of us will need to approach the tree, rest our hand on its trunk, and recite a spell. Sounds like a simple task, but when I strain my ears, I swear I can hear the wind whispering to me. Go back. Turn away. It isn't safe. Well, I know that. From the moment I accepted Gardenia's ludicrous request, I knew my life would be in danger. That's just the way things are. If you want to win big, you need to be prepared to risk it all. I'm willing to put my life on the line to save Aspen. I'm not afraid of you. These words suddenly bubble forth from Fiona's mouth, and much to my surprise. I might have been afraid in the past, but I'm not anymore. I faced a werewolf in a boat full of pirates and a massive kraken. Compared to them, you're nothing. It's finally time someone put you in your place. She's going to do something stupid, isn't she? Fiona dashes forward before I can stop her. She jumps over the small river that flows around the tree and kicks the trunk hard with her right foot. Kicking the tree must hurt. Fiona winces, her eyes watering, but she doesn't stop her assault. I don't think anything could stop her. Take that, and that. And some of this and some of that. Nev watches on. Her lips pause to a thin line. What is that idiot doing? You need to stop her, Viola. The tree will tear her apart in revenge. No, let's wait a bit longer. But, look. I point towards the tree. Increased perhaps by Fiona's lack of respect, its branches are beginning to swift. The birds which were perched peacefully among the tree's foliage fluttered away in alarm, all squawking. The vines unfurled from the tree's like limbs, long and flexible. They reached out towards Fiona. They're going to grab her. I can see where this is going. That may be the case, but I think that's part of our impulsive little thief's girl's plan. You mean she's capable of thinking ahead? I believe so. Phone is causing a ruckus so that she would turn its full attention on her. That should give us enough time to sneak up on it and react the spell that will make it unravel its secrets. As long as we don't pull a Bruce Campbell from Army of Darkness, we're okay. Ah, I see. I suppose that is a clever idea. It's clever, yes, if you don't value your own dignity. The three of us turn to look at Fiona. Yep. I forgot to turn off notifications. 1 second. And I have a feeling Dark Knight and Joe muted themselves, didn't they? Yep. By now the tree has managed to completely ensure her in its vines. It's elevated her into the sky, and though she screams and kicks, it does little good. The tree is too strong and she won't be able to break free of its vice-like grip. Not on her own. It's not possible. I can't let her be harassed in such a manner, not when she's using herself as live bait. It's time to make my move. No, my lady. There's no reason why you should put yourself in danger. I'll go to the tree and reenact the spell in your stead. But I'm your mistress. You're just my maid. It's my job to put my life on the line for your sake. No, that's wrong. You've done more than enough for me already. As your maid, it's my turn to serve you. It'll be all right, my lady. You can trust me. The book in the Forbidden Library said we had to press our hand on the tree's bark while reenacting the spell, didn't it? It's a complex spell, but I've memorized it all. As a Darkling, I have magical abilities of my own. This shouldn't be beyond me, unless you don't trust me. I would trust you with my life, Nev. Of course I trust you, Nev. I would trust you with my life. Good. I could say the same thing about you too, my lady. I love you a lot. And that's why I've never forgive myself if you got hurt. I won't allow it. I can't allow it. That's why I'll open the pathway in your stead. Nev scrambles ahead before I can call her back. She leaps over the river that circles the tree with the elegance of a cat, her feet making barely any noise. Maybe she can do this. Maybe she'll succeed. Nev presses the flat of her palm against the side of the tree and closes her eyes. Beneath her breath, she begins to mumble the magical words that we saw in that book in the library. O mighty moment, reveal to me your secrets. Things of light begin to shimmer around her fingers as Nev speaks, growing stronger and stronger with every passing second. Show me, this humble mortal, the entrance to the land which I desire to transfer, shrouded in darkness and gloom, though they may be. The earth beneath my feet begins to groan. The ground trembles in awe beneath the power of Nev's magic. Lend me your wisdom and let the path be known. But on the very final line of the incantation, the tree realizes that something is amiss. It drops Fiona from its vine, so she pummels through the air and hits the ground with a dull thud. Ow! Fiona whimpers and rubs her butt with her right hand. Her hair is messy and her scarf is coming untied, but she doesn't seem to care. She's staring at Nev, and so am I. Nev is surrounded by magical energy. It pulses like a heartbeat. The entrance to the underworld is slowly beginning to wrench open. She's knocking on the door, but it hasn't opened yet, and the tree can see what she's doing. It's going to attack her, and she's too focused on her magic to defend herself. It's going to kill her. Well, it won't if I can help it. I raise a hand, ready to cast the spell. My presence grab melts away, revealing my dark witch dress as I shout, Fire! Stop right there. I shout a fire spot the offending vines, where Ernest simultaneously leaps forward with it, her sword unsheathed. My fire burns up the vines as they reached out for Nev, when Nera's sword cuts them down. I'm not going to let this tree lay a single leaf on Nev. That is all I ask of you. Please answer my prayers and open the door. And with this final incantation... Whoa! Yeah. Shockwaves ripple through the ground. The tree, which was once determined to destroy Nev, flatters. It pauses. Then, without warning, a loud crackle fills the air like a bolt of lightning. It almost sounds as though the earth itself has cracked in two like a smashed plate. But that isn't it. It's not the earth, but the tree. In an instant, the thick trunk has split from top to bottom. The sentient sycamore is gaping open like a wound, revealing, no way, a vast dark passageway that leads down into the unknown. We finally found it. The entrance to the underworld. I can't believe it. What? I don't know how to put this nicely, but I think I just stepped on somebody's ribcage. Oh, for the God's sake. The four of us are slowly transforming the depths away into nothing but darkness. Unlike the Forbidden Library, which was so painfully white it hurts my eyes, the hidden ward underneath, Aspen's Earth, is the exact opposite. Though I'm holding a flickering flame in my right hand to light the way, I see blackness no matter where I look. The narrowing road stretches downwards indefinitely, twisting and curving, and our path is strewn with skeletal remains. I wonder where all these bones came from. Do you think these are the people who came here after they died? I don't know. They could just as well be people who stumbled into the underworld by accident and died attempting to escape. Then you don't mean, even if we do defeat the evil goddess, we might end up trapped here forever? Stop squealing. Worrying won't help anything. We can worry about how we'll escape after we found the goddess. You're so cool, Nev. You don't sound fazed at all. That's what Fiona says, but I'm not so sure. Nev has been acting a little odd ever since we started our descent into the bowels of the underworld. Her shoulders are straighter than usual, and her mouth is set into a thin line. She keeps glaring here and there, but there ain't any sounds. Is she hearing things we can't? This place is so creepy. It smells super bad, too. Please cease your complaining. We meet the goddess herself. We'll have more to worry about than a foul stench. But it really does smell bad now. Don't you think it's gross? It's making the hairs on my arms and legs shiver up and die. Nev pulls her face, her snub nose wrinkling. For a girl, your deceptions are rather uncouth. And why do you have hairs on your legs anyway? I don't fuss about my appearance as much as you, Nev. There are more important things in life. I can tell, and from just one glance, that you don't. Your appearance is nothing sort of shocking. It ain't as shocking as the stench, though. I swear it's getting worse and worse with each step we take. Fiona's right. This aroma is quite overpowering. Then breathe in through your mouth, not your nose. I've been trying, but that smell is so strong I can even taste it on my tongue. Anna presses one hand against her mouth as though this might help stem the pungent aroma of death that hangs in the air. Unfortunately, it doesn't. I know the smell is unpleasant, but we can't let it stop us. We need to press on. Even if I throw up? Even so, we can't go back now. We've come too far. My lady is right. Stop moaning, Fiona. We have to overcome these trials if we want to have a slither of hope at besting Iona. I didn't get mauled by a filthy, slimy tentacle for you to back down here before you reach the goddess's chamber. I guess I've been assaulted by that crack and stayed with you, huh, Nev? Of course it stayed with me. It was foul, unpleasant experience, but I bore it all for the sake of our quest. I sacrificed a lot to be here, my pride included, and I won't let you get in the way. Well, Nev, calm down. I know you've been through a lot, but so have me and Eleanor. We have worked hard too, and we ain't gonna back down now. I'm not gonna run away. You can count on me. Fiona smiles and loops an arm on Nev's stiff shoulder. We've been through a lot together, you and me. We got off to a rocky start, but we're friends now, right? Well, I suppose. There, you see? I got your back and you got mine. I ain't gonna hightail it out of here just 'cause it's a little stinky. Well, that's a relief. If you thought about betraying my lady's trust now in our hour of need, I would have obliterated you. Don't worry about that. We'll all save the world, no matter what. Right, that's right. We're here together. I need to try and trust you more. You're my precious comrades, and I'm sorry for snapping at you so much. Something about this place. It's so dark and vast it makes me feel uneasy. Almost like I'm all alone. You're not alone, Nev. Maybe that's what the voice of the goddess is telling you, but she's wrong. I'm here for you, and I'll support you. And looks my buddy Andrew's commented. I'll look at that later. I'm here for you, and I'll support you when you need it. I care about you a lot, my dear maid, so I'll never let you bear this burden on your own. Oh, my lady, thank you. You can hear the goddess in your head right now. That's right, her voice down here is far louder than it was above ground. What is she saying? That we should turn back now. There's no hope that we can defeat her. And nothing will stop her from executing her plan. So she's boasting. How unoriginal. If she truly had faith that her plan would succeed, she wouldn't bully you so. She would have no need. Do you truly believe that? I do. The more somebody talks themselves up, the less confident they are in their own skills. Guess that explains the Green Bay Packers offense. That only makes me more positive that we can succeed. So don't lose heart. It'll be with you every step of the way. I'll be with you every step of the way. My lady, I really do appreciate it. If you weren't by my side, I don't know what I'd do. Iona's voice is so loud, I can barely hear my own thoughts. It feels as though she might possess me. Oi. The goddess won't possess you. You're too strong. Don't be silly, Nev. That would never happen, no matter what she says. I won't let you lose yourself or your grip on reality. If you feel like the goddess's influence is growing too strong, just tell me, and I'll shake you back to your senses. Do you really mean that? Of course, I am your mistress and nobody else. I will not allow anybody else to possess you. You matter far too much to me. I don't know what I would do without you, Nev. Do I really mean that much to you? You're not replaced. You can never be replaced. Then in that case, I'll be strong. I love you, and no matter what the goddess says, I will never turn against you. I believe in that. Nev raises her head, her eyes shining with newfound courage. I have faith in me and all of us. Good, I'm glad. So Nev, if the goddess's voice is louder now than it has been before, does that mean that we're drawing near? Do you think we're almost at her lair? I am sure of it, my lady. We do not have long to go until we meet her face to face. We are truly in the belly of the beast now. Hello, nurse. My. It's been a long time since any mortals managed to sneak their way into my If I were a more unreasonable woman, your impatience would anger me to my realm, and none have made it back to the surface alive. Yes, I did see the remains of those foolish yes, I did see the remains of those foolish enough to face you littered by the entrance. It was quite uncouth, really, to leave so many skeletons lying about. That's right, I told it on a man's ribcage. It went crack, just like that. I've never heard a more horrible sound. It'll give me nightmares for sure. I must apologize about the interior decoration, I admit. It leaves quite a bit to be desired. Actually, that looks kind of cool. It looks like someplace a Scorpion or Quan Chi would have. Evil Scorpion. The goddess glances around her darkened chamber and sighs. It's so very cold and damp and dreary in here, and one does grow tired of all the human remains. And the darkness, and the decay, and that smell. It's like a cheap haunted house. Phoo. How cutting you are in your criticisms. As a guest, you should be more polite to your hostess. Though, you do have a point. I don't particularly like living here either. The cold air is not good for me, nor is the constant stench of death. But I suppose I have grown used to it after all these years. I've had a long time to adjust to these miserable conditions, you see. Though the gardener's voice remains cordial, I can tell that there's nothing more than a charade. Her fingers grip the armrest of her throne a little tightly when she speaks of her manifold years of captivity, and I can see her shaking with ill-suspense rage. That is what fuels this gardeners, of course, of that, I'm sure. Hatred, anger, a thirst for revenge, also known as wrestling fans watching WWE programming. And yet, despite these ugly emotions that come inside her heart, the gardener's mask of chivalry does not slip. She smiles, inclining her head to one side, and says softly, I hope you too can get used to that state of the underworld, for I feel you will stay here for a very, very long time. Once you cross the threshold of my kingdom, there is no going back. Brave though you may be into it explorers, you are also foolish if you think you can best me. It isn't possible. Mere mortals can never hope to defeat a goddess. Well, we'll just have to see about that, won't we? So you still mean to fight me despite my warning? What a feisty girl you are. I can see the rebellion burning in your eyes and the desire for victory within your soul. Yes, I like that. I like brave girls like you who are willing to fight and die for the sake of the world. That will make questioning your resolve all the sweeter. Oh, but where are my manners? I haven't introduced myself yet. What a poor hostess I am. My name is Iora. I was once a goddess of life, as you may be aware, but then certain events occurred and now I live down here. It is a pleasure to meet you. Oh no, the pleasure is all mine. I gave the goddess of death a neat little curtsy. My, how polite. You humans really are amusing. You came here meaning to defeat me, yet you still show me respect. You really are entertaining. But of course, I would expect no less from you, Viola. Huh? You know Viola's name? But of course, I am a goddess. Fallen though I may be, I know many more than any human ever could. You made quite a name for yourself in Aspen, Viola. You're the most powerful dark witch Aspen has seen in over a century. Or so they say. I'm really pleased that I was able to meet a celebrity such as yourself. On behalf of the underworld, I welcome you to my home. Wait, Green Bay title, what the hell? Oh my god, how the... Wow. Lots changed since I started the stream. Eagles were up 13-0. Now the Packers somehow tied it. What the fuck? Philly, have you lost your mind? You can't play the Packers like you played against the Texans and Colts. Hold on, my phone's ringing. I'll be back to my stream in a minute. Hello. And I'm back. Sorry about that, family cord. Of course, I start the stream. Eagles are winning now. We're winning now. Packers just took the lead. Oi. But let us not forget your faithful companions who aided you in your travels. Welcome, Fiona, the quick-fingered thief. And you too, Ellen, the brave knight. Whoa, she knows my name too? Hearing a goddess say my name is kind of weird. I'm getting goosebumps. Maybe I should ask for your autograph. It's no time to be getting starstruck now. We have a job to do, remember? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Seriously, she's so pretty and polite. I almost feel bad for hurting her. Hee 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 hee. And as for the final member of your party, I know all about you. In fact, I might even know more about you than you do yourself. Never takes a step back from... No, I'm streaming, Rosie. Did your phone not get the notification? Ah. Never takes a step back, trembling. She alters her eyes, trying to avoid the goddess's gaze, but it's hopeless. The goddess is all-seeing and all-knowing, and she can whisper into the minds of all the darklings across Aspen. Iona is a darkling just like Nev. They have the same complexion, the same horns growing from their scalps, and the same tails. They are the same species. They share the same blood. They're connected. Yeah, species, you know, fish and all that kind of crap. And maybe that's... And maybe that's where the goddess is paying my maid special attention. Now, don't shrink away from me. You're hurting my feelings, you know. And why should I care about your feelings? You never once cared about mine. You've been whispering cruel, frightening things into my head for months now, all in an attempt to scare me. You think you have a claim to my life because we're from the same species. You think that gives you a right to fill my head with thoughts that are not my own, and remove all the hope from my heart. You're wrong. You have nothing to do with me, goddess or not. You need to stay out of my head. Oh my, what a violent rejection, and I was hoping we could be friends. You upset me, Nev. As a fellow Darkling, I thought we might have some things in common, but you seem to hate me. I do hate you. I hate you and everything you stand for. Oh dear, and I was hoping we could have a productive conversation. I think we have one or two more things in common, our race besides. But let's put that one to one side for now. You girls do not need to tell me why you have come here, for I have already known. The witch Guardia sent you here, didn't she? Huh? You know Guardian too? Like I already said, my charming little thief, I am a goddess. It is my duty to know what is happening in Aspen. Do try to keep us. And as far as for that convoning witch, the goddess grunts her teeth together. A sudden rush of anger flashes across her face, rendering it almost ugly. Yes, I know her. I know her only too well. God, and curse her name, is the one who took my beloved Aaron away from me. Silence descends into the garden's darkling chamber of death. I heard a little rumor about Iona's past from Garnet herself, and gleaned yet more from the book in the Forbidden Library, but I hadn't known. Nobody told me that the girl who came between Iona and Ion was Garnet herself. Oh, Garnet didn't inform you about that, did she? Well, I can't imagine she would. It wasn't exactly her finest hour. But I don't get it. How could Garnet be the one who betrayed you? If she was alive back then before you got banished, or she must have been at least, let's see. 1, 2, 3. She's 1,500 years old. Huh? No way. Garnet acts like she's super wise and all, but she can't be that old. She looks pretty young to me. People can't live for that long, even if they are witches. Normal people can't know. But Garnet found favor with the gods. She was born to a poor family and seemed to be an unremarkable girl at first, until she had her first vision. Vision? Well, I suppose you could call it a prophecy. This human girl, who seemed ordinary at a glance, was actually born with a power few gods possess, the ability to see the future. Her ability at predicting when crops would thrive and when they would fall soon gave her acclaim across all of Aspen. People traveled far and wide to hear her predictions, though the art of prophecy is a tricky one and not always reliable. Even so, she succeeded far more than she failed, and it was not long before she caught the attention of the gods themselves. The gods saw she had immense magical energy, and they wished to utilize her for their own ends. I was worried such a young girl would find it difficult to fit in among the gods, so I offered to be her mentor in the arts of magic. I cared for her and I helped her, and I taught her how to control her magic. But she betrayed me. She took Aaron from me, and she reduced me to what I am now. I can't forgive her, and I can forgive anybody who would try to fight me in her stead. She received the blessings of the gods and eternal youth along with it. I, meanwhile, was banished to the underworld, where I have run for over 1,000 years, and nobody to comfort me and nobody to confide in. It took a long, long time for me to regain my former powers. But now I can feel the magic coursing in my veins once more. It's time for the seeds of my revenge to finally bear fruit. I will kill that meddling witch, Garnia, who stole my happiness away from me, and then the rest of the world along with her. Then I will make the world so I may rule over it as its sole goddess. Do you really think he can defeat me after all my careful planning? How amusing. Yona sits back down on her throne, her eyes flashing with contempt. You feeble, half-hearted attempts to save the world really are charming, but I won't let you best me. You will all die. It is inevitable. I cannot let you stand against me, not now. But I am not a cruel woman. Though I now live in the underworld, I was once a goddess of life. Though I will kill you, I do not wish to cause you any pain or suffering. I will kill you in the kindest, gentlest, softest way I can. It will be like falling asleep. Only it will be a very long, dreamless sleep, of which you will never awake. What do you say? Will you let me kill you gently? Or will you try to resist? Of course, I only have one answer to that. You're delusional, Iola. Oh, delusional, you call me? That's right. There's no chance I'll stand here and let you kill me. You claim to be kind and caring, but if that was true, you wouldn't try to destroy Aspen because of your own selfish feelings. You spent too much time in the underworld and it has warped you. Gani was right when she charged us with this quest. You're completely insane, and that is why you have to be stopped. Oh, that is your answer. How boring. Well, now I have no qualms about killing you. It was a pleasure to meet all of you, but now we must say farewell. The end of Aspen and I will not let pests like you get in my way. And with a click of her fingers... Huh? That is, an object materializes in the earth, suspended by the goddess's immense magical powers. It's not a weapon, though. In fact, it doesn't look dangerous at all. It is, in fact, a mirror. That's right. That is a mirror. It's my mirror, which I've poured all my magical energy into. It's a mirror that shows the true nature of people's hearts. It strips all delicate bare and reveals what is truly inside you. All your darkest desires, your most shameful secrets, and the unshakable truths that you may wish to hide. And so what? That thing. It's nothing more than a prop. Oh, is that what it seems like to you, little girl? Then let me educate. I have no desire to fight you with my time and attention, and have no desire to waste my energy on you, nor sully my hands. Then you're a coward. Coward, am I? How charming, coming from a girl who's trembling at the mere sight of me. I ain't trembling. Shh, Fiona. Let's hear what the goddess has to say. It might be important. We've been listening to what she has to say for the last half hour. Considering the end of the world is at stake, she enjoys the sound of her own voice. Perhaps, but how could you begrudge me that? It's been so many years since I was last able to speak to another human, even if you're only mortals. I may be speaking a tad too much, but the knight is correct in your assumption. What I have to say is very important. Deadly important, in fact. You see, I have no desire to kill you myself, and that's why I'll make your precious maid do it for me. You can't mean Nev. That's right, you adorable little maid. Look, she's walking toward the mirror right now, drawn like a moth to the flame. I turn my head as do Fiona and Eleanor. The dark goddess is right. While she was giving her little speech, Nev crept silently toward the mirror, the soles of her shoes making less noise than cushioned cat paws. Nev's eyes look strangely empty, like stones, and her lips are pursed. Can't this mirror really be that powerful? Nev's fingers reach out for the mirror. They brush against the glass and she flinches. It feels like ice. Is that also part of the magic? I swallow, bad feelings bubbling up inside my chest. Nev, don't look into the mirror any longer. But my warning comes too late. For once Nev doesn't heed my words, she doesn't even turn her head to look at me. She's completely enraptured by the mirror. Do you like this mirror, my little maid? Are you drawn to it? That's right. It has a strange, curious power. It feels like it's sucking me in. Good. That's what it's supposed to do. It calls out to the desperate girls like you who've been hiding their true feelings far too long. Finally, you can be honest with yourself. You can feel what you want, think what you want, say what you want, and nobody will judge you. Nobody? That's right. Ignore everything else. Let the words shrink around you. Right now, it's just you in the mirror. Who's the man in the mirror? Let the mirror consume you. Let it devour your aching, agonizing heart. Nev, no. I don't know what the mirror is, but it's doing something fishy to Nev. As spun it as always. We need to stop it from hurting her. Let's destroy it. Fiona takes 2 of her daggers from her belt, hurls them through the air with deadly precision. I think she means to shatter them with her blades, but... As if I would let you destroy the fruits of my hard labor so easily. Fiona's daggers never managed to make it to the mirror. The daggers pause in midair, seemingly with nothing, and then fall to the ground with 2 dull clangs. Fiona stares at her deflected daggers, her eyes wide. Huh? It didn't work? Then again. Fiona draws 2 more daggers from her belt, but I stop her before she can throw them. It's no use. But save your projectors. You won't be able to reach Nev now. How do you know? Nothing's impossible till we try. No, it's obvious. We might have had a chance once, but we lost it. The Guardians will use some kind of spell to protect the mirror. It's important to her, so it stands to reason she wouldn't let us harm it with physical attacks. Oh, I see. I should have known. That makes sense, but... Nev, she must be trapped inside that barrier, too. That's right. My maid is encased with that invisible Imperial wall of magic, and now it's too late to get her out. Nev's in trouble, and I can't help her. Fiona's daggers were incapable of breaking the barrier, but perhaps my magic could do the trick. But Nev's still encased inside the barrier. I'm sure I could break it down, but I don't want to hurt her. Oh, are you squirming, Great Dark Witch? How very unfortunate. And you thought you could march your way down to my lair and defeat me with sheer brute force. How naive you were. How foolish. How very childish. But what more can be expected of a band of girls who want to save the world? The time for playing at being a hero is over. And now, why don't the 3 of you learn how to behave yourselves? Just sit back and enjoy the show. Yonder waves one hand, and all of a sudden I feel an immense pressure pushing down on my back. Feels like the air itself has turned into a physical mass. It's making me sit, though I don't want to. I can't obey this woman's wishes. Nobody can tell the Great Dark Witch Viola what to do. It's not possible. My pride won't allow it, and yet my body is moving on its own. I can't fight it. My legs are bending. I try to fight against my rebellious body, which is moving on autopilot, but nothing happens. My body won't listen to me. There. Now you're sitting like good little girls. The spectacle can finally begin. Look at your charming maid now. She has a pretty face, but I can see there's a lot of untapped anger and resentment welling up inside her. She has a short temper despite her nice manners. And if given enough of a push, she'll explode like a powder keg. Now, doesn't that sound amusing to watch? Foo-foo-foo-foo-foo. What in the world are you blabbering about? Nev would never, ever turn against us. Sure, she might be kinda hotly, and she doesn't like me at all that much when we first met, but we've been on so many adventures together now. We're friends, and friends never betray one another. You must not know Randy Orton. Our bonds are too strong. That's what you may think, you endearing little Optimus. But my mirror can see past all that. Friendship, camaraderie, and even love. None of it's consent. It's all mutual. But people's feelings change. Perhaps Nev's has bottled up more complex feelings than you have ever imagined. That being the case, my mirror will soon cut through her defenses. It will strip the flesh from her body, metaphorically speaking, of course, and show you what lies beneath her mask. Now, Nev, Iron turns to my maid, one leg over the other, smiles tently. You've suffered a lot in your life, haven't you, you poor thing? Suffered? That's right, I know all that you have suffered, for my mirror is showing me clearly. You were born as a darkling in a world which discriminates against our kind. All your life you have been mocked and insulted. But that wasn't the worst of your pain. Your family was poor and your parents had too many mouths to feed. You often went hungry in your childhood, but you couldn't complain because your parents were trying so hard to support you. You worked demeaning jobs from an early age, hoping to scrounge enough coins to feed your family, but it wasn't enough. During a particular harsh cold winter, 2 of your younger siblings died, and though you did your best to nurse them while your parents were busy working, no matter how hard you worked, you couldn't provide for your family. At least, until you met Viola. That was when your fortunes changed. For the better, you amused. She heard of your plight, and she took you in as her maid. Finally, you could afford to look after your family, your earnings saved from them from debt and poverty. It was a happy ending to your years of strife and misery. At least, that is what you told yourself, but your heart said another thing. You were forced into servitude as a mere maid. You had to beg and scrap for a living before a human woman. Your pride as a darkling was hurt. Your sense of self-worth was ruined. You had tried so hard to be self-sustaining. But now you owe your family's happiness to this one woman, who could take everything away with a snap of her fingers. You knew your current position was unstable. You couldn't risk losing it, so you tried to work harder than ever before. You pushed yourself to the limit, even though you risked making yourself ill. You worked and worked and worked, especially to prove yourself and to ensure your position. You told yourself that you loved Viola for her kindness, but on the inside, you were beginning to despise her. No, not at all. You hated her. You hated her, even as over time Viola became kinder to you and gentler, and found feelings beginning to blossom inside your heart. You fell in love with your mistress. But how can such a love truly flourish between a slave and her owner? Perhaps that was just your delusions, to make the burden servitude sting less. But your resentment continued to fester, and you had no outlet for it. Selling Viola for too long has warped you. You're violent, unstoppable, jealousy, paranoia, obsession, afraid. You're sick. I'm sick? That's right. You made yourself ill, but it's not your fault. This is all because of Viola. She's the one that you love more than anybody, and she's the person you hate. She's the reason why you hurt, and perhaps it's time you return the favor. What do you mean? The end of the world is nigh. Soon Aspen will be razed to the ground and Viola will be gone. You'll never have to face the consequences for your actions. You can do and say what you want without guilt, without fear. You can finally break free from your mistress and be your own person. I can be myself? That's right. You can finally live unfiltered and free. Take your revenge on those who have wronged you, just as I would take my revenge on Aspen, and then join me. The world may wither away, but if you remain by my side, I will offer you my protection. Be my princess, Nev. Let us create a brand new world together, and erasing the rotten world which came before it. It would be a world without humans, without prejudice, populated only by darklings like ourselves. I will always be there for you, and I will make you happy. I promise. Happiness. I can be happy? That's right, you can be happy. At long last, without any lingering regrets or feelings of guilt. All you need to do is kill Viola. No, that's wrong. She's tricking you. Nev, that's obviously a lie. Fiona calls out to Nev, but my maid doesn't even blink. She's so wrapped up in the kindness words, I don't know if she can listen to reason now. I won't have to suffer. I swear it. I will be free. Indeed. I see. Then if that's the case... Nev takes a series of slow, stumbling steps towards me. Whispers of dark magic begin to gather around her fingers like gloves. The magic crackles in the air ominously. Is she really going to do it? Does she mean to kill me? Nev, what are you doing? This isn't going to work. Killing Viola won't make you happy. Nev, please reconsider. You're being manipulated. Can't you see that this isn't what you want? If you were in your right mind, you would never do this. Sure, you can be kind of scary, and I know you have a short temper, but you would never raise your hand against Viola. Fiona's right. You have to stop before you do something you regret. But Nev isn't listening. The impassioned pleas bounce off her like water from a duck's back. She takes another step forward, her maid's dress fluttering. I always thought this dress was cute, but perhaps Niv didn't see it as such. Maybe she saw it as a symbol for her own captivity. Niv, please, don't hurt Viola. If not for her, then for you. When you realize what you've done, you'll never forgive yourself. Niv doesn't respond. She walks past Fiona without sparing her a glance. Damn it! Viola, you're going to talk to her. She won't listen to us, but maybe she'll listen to you. That's right, you might be able to get through to her, even if our voices can't. You've always been the most important person to Nev. She's loved and respected you above all else. If you could stop her if you wanted, I'm sure you could. I could stop her? They may be right. Nev loves me. She cares for me. In that case, perhaps I'll be able to undo the curse that the goddess has inflicted upon her. If anybody can, it's me. Well, I do know the... Okay, I got to save here, and it's mostly because there is the bad ending, but we're not going to get the bad ending on stream. We're going to get the good ending. Because we want goodness in our life. So we're going to... So in this, because I remember this a bit from the PS5, so try to understand her feelings. I want to defend myself from the goddess's accusations, of course I do. But part of me pauses. Maybe she has a point. I'm Nev's mistress. It was my duty to take care of her, but I failed. She's been suffering for so long, and I never knew. Then in that case, this is all my fault. Nev takes another step towards me. She's standing over me, engulfing me in her shadow. Dark flames, stronger than any magic I've seen Nev wield before, continue to burn and flicker around her hands. What are you doing? Nev examines me coldly, her eyes narrowed. Aren't you going to try and beg for your life? Oh, Nev. A small smile captures my lips. You should know by now I'm the great Rich Viola and never beg. If you feel upset with me, I understand. Perhaps I haven't treated you as best I could. That is entirely my fault. So you... Nev pauses blinkingly. You're not going to defend yourself? I can't. Not now. Your feelings are more important than mine. If I really have hurt you, I apologize, and I will accept any punishment you wish to give me. I'm not afraid of a little pain. I'm only afraid of hurting you and losing your trust. Not just my maid, Nev. You're one of my dearest friends, and I really do care for you. Now, I close my eyes. If you want to harm me, please get it over with and quickly. If this is what it takes for me to earn your forgiveness, I'm prepared to suffer no matter what it takes. I wait for the final blow, but nothing happens. Death blow. If you were watching the stream, you would have known that. The power blast of dark... No, it would have been a magical blow, so probably some kind of fiery blow to the head. Female head. The power blast of dark magic doesn't come. Nev isn't attacking me. That's because with this game I'm trying not to joke as much. I'm trying to be serious. Yeah, I know, it's surprising. Why? I open one eye slowly, then the other. I look up. Nev is standing over me. Her eyes wallow and empty, dark magic seeping from her fingertips. But she does nothing. She looks down at me, her brow frowns. Her lips pause. And after a long pause, Rosie says, Doug, be serious. Heh heh heh. No. A soft syllable horribly audible falls from her lips. What was that? I said no. This is all wrong. You're all wrong. I love my lady, no matter what you say, even if it's a love that causes me pain, and I wouldn't sacrifice it for the world. I would never, ever hurt her, and I'll never forgive you for trying to turn me against her. Burn, right down to your bones. Burn, baby, burn, Disco Inferno. Yes, this is the game with the anime boobies. That's most of the point of this game. Have you not been paying attention? Impossible. I mean, this is the third part of the game, Let's Play. The goddess is able to deflect Nev's barrier of dark flames just in time, but I don't think she expected Nev to resist her magic so entirely. The goddess's concentration warns, and she's forced to put all her magical energy into her own defenses. And that makes the spell hanging over my body weaker. It flickers, and then it shatters. I can still feel the Vesha's me, trying to drag my littered body back to the ground, but I ignore it. I push it away. I won't let that goddess control me anymore, not now I finally have a chance to counter. I get to my feet, as do Fiona and Eleanor. We can move, but how can we fight? The goddess's magic is far stronger than my own, and butting heads with her would only lead to my own ruin. If I'm to defeat her, it won't be with force, but with smarts. I had to come up with some plan, but... As he says, you've picked any anime woman from any show or game, who do you... Oh, I've already said before many a times, because this question was asked a few months ago when we were doing Friday the 13th, because one of Ashley's people was asking this question. It'd probably be Nico Robin from One Piece. She's smart, beautiful, and she can beat the fuck out of people. I've got it. I know what to do. The mirror. I'll show the goddess the depths of her own disordered heart, twisted by years of hatred and anger. I'll make her realize how ugly and unsightly she is, and then I can deliver the finishing blow. Holly... technically, if we're going down that hole, Harley Quinn will not be viewed as cartoon or... Not Chi-Chi Obama or Vidal. A dash toward the mirror, kicking off against the ground. Who? Oh, come on. That's almost everyone's fucking answer. Try to be original, man. Fuck. Red Ribbon Army? Good lord, she hasn't been seen since Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, so that was a... I know who you mean, the one who sneezes and changes personality, I guess. I concentrate my magic into the heels of my dragon hide boots, forcing myself to go faster, faster, faster. This might be my only chance. Oh, no you don't. The goddess has recovered from Nev's surprise attack. She's seen what I'm doing. I'm sure she must know what I'm planning. She waves one hand and my red magic circles appear behind her throne. The circles are as red as blood, and there are dozens, no hundreds of them. She's going to rain divine magic down upon me until one of her blows hits. This time she's really will kill me. I won't let you. If you want to hurt Viola, you need to get past us first. A simple matter. You're nothing but pests compared to me. Iona waves one hand and a verbal barrage of magic energy fires out of her magical circles. The magic crashes against the ground indecisively like bullets. Fiona and Eleanor do their best to deflect the magic with their blades, but it's fruitless. This divine magic belongs to a goddess of creation, and it's too powerful for any human to fend off. Fiona's daggers are blown out of her hands in an arc. She tries to get new ones from her belt, but she doesn't have the time. A magical bullet hits her in her stomach, knocking her backward. Fiona. Alan stands before her trying to protect her, but it's no good. Alan only has a sword made of mortal blacksmith and can't withstand too much abuse. Who? Who, me or Joe? Joe. It shattered after deflecting the second bullet. The pieces shatter everywhere. How dare you? I'll never let you lay a hand on my lady ever again. Nev tries to deflect whatever magic she can with magic of her own. But she's being pushed back. She can't keep it up. She's not strong enough. Fortunately, the goddess isn't aiming at me with her spells. The magic circuits are so manifold, the bullets are ricocheting everywhere, but there's also many of them. They're hard to avoid. I dodge, my feet sliding against the ground of the cave. The heel of my boot sinks against something bitter, and it shatters into pieces beneath my body weight. I don't need to look down to know what it is. A skeleton. Hold on one quick. Let's take a look at the score real quick. Ah, it's tied up 20-20. Damn. We got a good game after all.
So what is tomorrow's plan?
Monday? I don't really know because, you know, with it being a Cyber Monday and all that, I don't know how internet's going to be. Because I'm sure once it probably hits 3 or 4 a.m. Monday morning, all the deals are going to start and the internet's going to be moving slow like shit. I would say maybe the internet will be better by the time it gets to nighttime tomorrow, but I won't know till we get to that point. There were lots of dead bodies scattered about the entrance to the underworld, but there were more of them in the heart of the goddess's chamber, lying on the ground, discarded with fellow eyes and empty sockets. Intimidating. They may be... they may be dead now, but I can change that. I still have my Necronomicon ruby necklace. By the name of the Dark Witch, I command you. Rise, motherfucker, rise! The skeletons scattered across the goddess's chamber slowly began to rise to their feet. They're not the people they once were. They were nothing more than empty husks, with no thoughts or feelings of their own. They only exist to follow my bidding and to protect me, regardless of their own safety, and that's just what they do. The skeletons come between me and the goddess's magical bullets over and over again, shattering on impact like precious china. My soldiers are already beginning to dwindle, but I don't let that stop me. I resurrect my soldiers before they can hit the ground, and they protect me anew. It doesn't matter how many times the goddess kills them, so as long as I have my necklace, I can keep reviving them. My icks surround me like shields. Some are missing ribs, others arms, one its whole head. The old, aged bones are cracked from the force of Iona's many spells, but they continue to stand over and over. My skeletons shadow around me like glass. They shadow at my feet once more. I command them, and they rise anew. Iona's spells keep coming, but my skeletons absorb all for me. I'm almost at the mirror now. I can make it. No! Iona shoots yet more magical energy at me. 3 of my skeletons are beheaded in a row. One of Iona's spells glances off the side of my cheek. It stings like oh hell, but I ignore it. I have to keep pushing on. I duck and dodge and weave, striking behind my skeleton warriors. I roll under spells and leap over stray bullets. My knees and legs are bruised and dirty from ducking to the ground, and the air smells of death and smoke. My heart is pounding so hard it feels like it might burst. I can't breathe. I can barely think. That sounds like me in real life. But I keep running. I can't see the mirror now. I can see the mirror now. Who's the man in the mirror? Though the smoke that Iona's magic has left. Can I make it in time? I'm not sure. A spell fires right at my head, but one of my skeleton warriors dives before me to deflect the blow. I reach out, my fingers flexing. My fingers grip the mirror. I try to turn it, using the mirror as a shield from Iona's increasing frenzied attacks. The mirror is a lot heavier than I imagined, and it's hard to turn. I grip my teeth together, worrying myself not to be defeated here. I can't let myself be bested, and when I come so far, I can't... Who the fuck is messaging me on PSN tonight? My lady, here, I'll help you. Nev! As though by magic, Nev appears at my side. She takes hold of the left side of the mirror and I the right. If we work together, we can turn it. I'm sure we can. I'm not going to give up here. I can't. Not when the goddess tried to make a fool out of me. She used this mirror to brainwash me. I'll never forgive her for that. Let's take her down together. using this instrument she created with her own two hands. Right, let's do it. I believe in you, Nev. And I believe in you too. When we're together, we can do anything. Oh. I do not know why I've been put in so many PSN groups as of late. Foolish! Fools! This is all foolishness! Step away from the mirror at once, or I'm being added into a lot of PSN message groups because of Friday the 13th.
Oh shit, bro.
Ugh. But the goddess' words die in her throat. Together, with our forces combined, Nev and I have finally managed to do it. The mirror, which caused Nev so much internal pain and suffering, is now pointing directly at the one who created it. Ah! The moment Iona sees her reflection in the mirror, a loud, almost inhuman screams tears itself from Iona's throat. No! You... How dare you? The goddess chokes and splutters these words out as though they're made of pure poison. She holds both her hands up to her face in an attempt to conceal her true appearance. But it's already too late. The mirror has stripped away her magic to reveal her true form. Goddess though she may be, Iona has been sealed away inside the underworld for more than 1,000 years. She's still alive, but barely nothing more than a corpse, animated by her divine and a desire for revenge. When I first encountered her, she looked beautiful, but that was nothing more than a ruse. This is the real Iona. This is what she truly looks like. Oh my gods, I've never imagined. It's like something from a horror movie. AKA, it's a naked grandma. Run! Ah! Thank you, Family Feud, for that wonderful mean to life when you just want to scare people. Nope. No, I said no. She said it was like a horror movie, and that's why I said, oh, so it's like seeing a naked grandma. Again, you must not remember that meme that came from that Family Feud episode, do you? I'm surprised. Here was the question that started that made this meme. Name something a robber wouldn't want to see when he's breaking into a house. The person buzzed in and said, naked grandma. Oh, good Lord, PSN. Dear Lord. Okay, life is gold. Stop with the fucking damn thing. I'm streaming. Fuck. Stop this. Stop this at once. This incident's against my good name. It is sacrilege. Put down that mirror. Put it down right now. Though the goddess tries to speak in a commanding tone, her voice wavers like a child's. I can tell, despite her attempt at bravo, that she's afraid. But is she afraid of me? Or the image of herself reflected in the mirror? Maybe I think grimly she's afraid of what she's become. It's so pathetic, I almost feel sorry for her. I sympathize, but... No, I won't put the mirror down. You seek to defy me. I have to defy you. It's the only way I can teach you a lesson. Okay, I'm putting my phone on vibrate because I'm getting tired of the damn PlayStation thing going off every 5 seconds. Wouldn't mind if it's... I wouldn't mind if it was sports updates, but shit. This is what your thirst for revenge has done. This is what it has reduced you to. This is the truth, and it's time you faced it. You can't keep lying to yourself any longer. No, this isn't right. This isn't who I am. It's not who you used to be, but it's undoubtedly you now. The mirror doesn't lie. You said so yourself. It strips the hearts of all men bare, and this is what happens to be inside your heart. This is the truth. Don't avert your eyes, because the truth will set you free, as the Dr. Style Slickster has said before. It isn't the truth. It isn't. This isn't who I really am. The goddess slams her fist against the ground in a frustrated desperation. A few things of flesh that still cling to her knuckles tear away when they hit the ground, revealing more white bone beneath her once soft skin. It's not who I want to be. I never wanted to be like this. I can't imagine many people would want to look like that. How horrible. This feels like an unnecessary cruelty. We've already mobilized her, Viola. don't you think we should do as she asks and put the mirror down? We should at least give her some dignity, even if she is our enemy. No, but I said no. Iona is a ruthless goddess. If our positions were reversed, she wouldn't think twice about torturing us. That's how little she respects our lives. We can't show her any kindness, though it may seem cruel. We need to defeat her completely, or our journey will have been for nothing. Don't you think that's a bit extreme? EC dub, EC dub, EC dub. Hey, I don't get to do that chant that often. You're talking about a woman who wanted to destroy all of Aspen. No punishment is too extreme for her. But, though I say that, my heart isn't made of iron. Watching a fellow Darkling, the goddess who gave my entire race life, suffer in such a way, it hurts me too. It's painful, but it's for the greater good. I love being a narrator, okay? I used to read in high school and college. I was the one who would always raise his hand when the teacher asked who wanted to read. It got me out of a lot of tests and homework. Because after a certain point, the teacher's like, okay, does anyone else want to read but Doug? She'd say, okay, Doug, you get to read them because you're the only one who wanted to read. You don't have to take the test on Friday. You get an automatic A. Over the other students, because you didn't want to read, you're taking the test. They would all look at me like I'm the problem, and I'd be like, hey, you guys had a chance to read, but no, you guys are two chickens like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. Do you need a Scooby snack? And then half of them would laugh and break out, and people would still get mad. Remember, if you read, it makes your brain power get bigger. I know that doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Your brain gets smarter. Remember. Who's Megamind? You got to remember, only 90% of the things I watch are horror films. The last kid film I actually watched was back when I was a kid, and that was The Great Mouse Detective. And that's only because it had the great Vincent Price in it. I don't want to watch her suffer. Please tell me he did not just say... You don't know who Vincent Price is. How are you American? No, you're not. Almost everybody who grew up on who's watched horror films and grew up on Disney would know who Vincent Price is, or grew up on Hollywood Squares. Damn. Joe's probably not old enough, so he gets a pass. He's probably Rosie's age. He's asking if you heard of the Great Mouse Detective, because apparently he's never heard of it and he doesn't know who Vincent Price is. And that's when I said Joe gets a pass because he's not that old enough. Kind of like Rosie. She's not that old enough. But Dark Knight, you're my age. You should know both of them. Makes me wonder what the fuck your parents had you watching as a child. Shit. Your parents failed you with television. Oh! Okay, so in better words, when cartoons and acting was shit back in the 90s. Got it. I don't want to watch... I never could get into it because it made me feel stupid. Watch what? That was just a bad Ren and Stimpy knockoff. Oh, I'm being honest. Real Monsters, yeah, that was a good one on Nickelodeon back when Nickelodeon actually had creativity and intelligence. I don't want to watch her suffer, but she really did bring it upon herself. Rugrats was good. I didn't. I never wanted this. It isn't my fault. It's not my fault. No, what killed it was Nickelodeon decided just to do nothing but SpongeBob, and what killed Cartoon Network, unfortunately, they just pretty much stuck to Teen Titans Go. That's pretty much what killed those two. Plus, also what killed Nickelodeon besides SpongeBob, you kept bringing back Fairly Odd Parents, That could have not needed to happen when they brought in the new female character. Um, you can't, and then you kept rebooting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. I remember that days too.
The ward punished me, so I tried to punish the ward in turn. What's so bad about that? You're a darkling, Nev. You should understand my feelings. You know how it feels to be persecuted, don't you? I know and I understand. But that does not justify your actions. When you try to do what you try to do is unforgivable. So don't try to make excuses. That's proof that you still don't understand. All you care about is yourself. You're selfish. You're like Vince McMahon, damn it.
Yeah.
I'm selfish? Selfish? That goes without saying. Think a bit more about the people around you. Think about the world as a whole. No matter how many injustices there are, nothing can justify killing billions of people because you did not get what you wanted. I see. So, that is what you think of me? You say I'm selfish, but all I ever wanted was to be loved. All I wanted was to be happy. What was so wrong of me? Was I mistaken? You weren't mistaken. Everybody in this world wants to be loved. Unless you live in South Dakota. Whether we're gods or human or darklings, it's natural. It's what makes us feel alive. But love shouldn't be self-important. You can't always put yourself and your own feelings first. You need to think about others first. But I tried that. I tried and it didn't work. I wanted to be a good and kind and gentle, but the world wouldn't let me. There you go again. You're blaming everybody else for your misfortunes. You're a goddess, aren't you? You helped create life itself. Take some responsibility. Iowa. Fuck you. I take responsibility. It's called I've come to the point I live in Virginia that fucking sucks. You can't get women in this fucking state. That's probably why I just stripped to anime characters. Anime women are actually easier to hook, easier to bang. That's why I do so at video game and anime conventions. They don't want love. They just want sex. I take a step forward. The heels of my dragon-hide boots grind bones into powder, but I pay it no heed. I am too gazed upon the goddess. Once Iona was a goddess of life, but now she's a goddess of death. I can't ease the pain she's feeling right now, but maybe I can try to sympathize. It isn't much, but Iola, tell me what made you this way. Tell me how all of this happened. I've already said my piece. You should know by now. You should know that I was a young girl once, sweet, naive, and trusting. Aaron said I was beautiful, and I believed him. I loved him. No, the demon, the one I'm voicing the damn. No teasing. This is a serious part of the game. Damn it, we're actually getting to sadness. So stop it. I loved him so much, but he betrayed me. He who once claimed that he had only eyes for me turned his attentions towards my own apprentice. My happiness was ruined. And so you turned against your lover? That's right. I wanted all traces of Aaron's creations right from the ward, turned into dust, destroyed. I wished for the death of all humans and for Aaron too. But the other gods soon heard of my plans, and they stopped me. For upsetting the order of the natural ward and attempting to murder a god who had once been my lover. They punished me. They cast me down here in the miserable pit filled with the smell of rotting flesh, and they left me to fester. He never tried to visit me. Nobody did. I've been down here all alone for thousands of years, all because of my lover betrayed me. Ironically enough, that's kind of why, depending what book you read from Greek mythology, Hades was actually sent to hell, not because he was deemed to put the, but because one of the gods he was trying to fall in love with was married to somebody else. Greek gods are kind of fucked up, okay? In case no one's ever played God of War, yeah, Zeus was known to be a hoe. He would like to sleep with every fucking woman on the planet, which is why we got Hercules. Not God's like throwing everything. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Zeus was kind of was the slut of the gods. You think it would be Aphrodite, the goddess of love? No, she actually was not that much of a slut. It was Zeus who was the slut. Hey, young heroes, did you know? The air in the underworld is toxic to a goddess of creation like me. As the years went by, my skin started to fester, and the flesh peeled from my body. Well, no wonder you look like Skeletor. My body died, but I'm a goddess, and I am immortal. My heart will never cease beating, even if my body decomposes. I can't die, but I wish I could. That would be better than suffering like this. I see, that's why you decided to seek revenge. You're certainly pitiful, but I can't deny that. But I hardly think your actions are rational either. If the person you love betrayed you, then they weren't worthy of your love to begin with. You shouldn't have tortured yourself so. No gone to such extremes for a man like Aaron. He didn't deserve it. And that is why in the real world we have shows like Maury Povich, Jerry Springer, and Parental Court to see if you're the baby's daddy. That's when the teasing can start, when I'm not reading a sad little line. Shouldn't have changed yourself so slavishly to him. But it's too late for that now. Your obsession has consumed you, and this is what happened. You blamed Aaron for your unhappiness, but he did not make you wage a war against him. He did not force you into this situation. In the end, no matter what you say, you're the true culprit behind your fall from grace. In a way, I'm almost glad I met you. It made me realize something critical. Nev turns to look at me, her eyes shining. My lady, I love you. I love with every inch of my being from the bottom of my heart. I've always thought if you were to leave me, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I feared I would give myself up to madness and forget who I am. But this creature who once called herself a goddess has taught me otherwise. Love can be a very pure emotion. It can heal wounds and bring happiness. But love in too high doses can be toxic. Spurred or unrequited love can hurt. But disappointed love can hurt all the more. If left unchecked, love can spread like a poison and cause pain. I love you, my lady, but now I can see I've loved too much and too intensely. I don't want to end up like that woman, and that is why I'll try to better myself from now on. I won't let my love consume me, and I won't continue to... What the fuck's that C word? Captivulate on... Can these people put words in that most normal motherfuckers can understand? That's a big word I don't understand. Moving on. Yeah, I know, but I'm still not good with big words, damn it. Probably why I read a lot of anime books and sports autobiographies. There's not much that big words in there. This is probably why I never win a game of Lingo or what's that one game you have to make words together on a board? What's that game called? Where the Q's at double the points or Z is whatever. Yeah, there was a game show in the 80s and early 90s. I can't remember. I know it starts with an S, I think. I can't define my own identity by my proximity to you for the rest of my life. I need to become my own person. Then and only then can I truly be happy. At least, that's what I think. Love monetarily. Is that what you think? If only I had known that back then. But it's already too late. I've already thrown everything away. I was such a fool. I thought taking lives would make me happy. But I was wrong. No matter how much destruction I bring to Aspen, it won't undo the mistakes of my youth. It won't repair my relationship with Aaron. It's already too late. I was wrong from the very beginning. I might have lost myself for a few centuries, but You've made me see, young darkling girl. The world is more wonderful than I ever gave it credit for. I was just too concerned by my own pain to see it. Indeed, you were. And in your grief, you tried to destroy the whole world. Well, that will no longer come to pass. Your magical power is already dwindling, isn't it? Now you can barely stand. I suppose this is a bit of an anticlimactic end to our journey, but before we leave, I have a gift for you. A gift? That's right, I thought you might want some company. Haven't been trapped here for so many years, so take this. I don't want it. I fished the gem that Gardenia gave me out of my pocket, then throw it at Iona's feet. This should let you communicate with somebody on the outside world. It's somebody that you know very well indeed. Someone I know, you don't mean... That's right, I'm talking about that witch. The woman who betrayed me. This was her scent all over it. Indeed, after all these years of sinking restraint, I think you have one or two things you'd like to say to her. But then again, maybe not. What do I know anyway? It's been a long, long time since Iona and Gardenia last spoke. I doubt Iona has anything pleasant to say to her. Gardenia is the woman who took her lover away from her after all. I don't blame Iona for hating her, but perhaps loneliness does strange things to people. No shit! For all Iona should revive the woman who made that gem I cast at her feet, she takes hold of it in her skeleton hands as though it's something precious, as though she can hardly bear the thought of letting it go. Hey, we're back outside! Oh god, the air stinks up here! Fuck, it's Detroit! And so, after all that, congratulations, everyone! You succeeded in your quest! You beat in the Wicked Goddess and you saved all of Aspen! I couldn't be prouder of you. It's so touching that you all grown into such fine young ladies. I must admit, in the beginning, I wasn't sure if you were up to the task. But you've blown my expectations out of the water. You've done something truly incredible, and you should be all pleased with yourselves. Now, who wants to come and claim the reward? That's very kind of you, but I couldn't. Owen's right. Accepting a award like this, I'd feel kind of wrong. It's kind of you, Miss Witch. But we didn't save the world from our own personal gain. We have no need of your gifts. Oh, how very selfish of you all. After everything you've been through, you still remain so innocent and incorporable. You're all wonderful girls, but you don't need to be so shy. You've earned this award, fair and square. What the fuck is that Oh, I think that's chocolate. Fiona looks at the Gonino with no small amount of confusion. Her brow frowned. It's not that I'm shy exactly, but now I'm starting to get depressed. And why is that, Fiona? Is it because my breasts are so much rounder and fuller than yours? Oh, that does say that. It does say that, so don't get mad at me. No, stay! Oh, that reminds me. A teacher in Arizona, her and her husband, who's also a teacher, got fired from their job because they made the wife has an OnlyFans account, and they made a sex video for OnlyFans in the classroom. Now, I will point out something before everyone goes off. It was after school hours. There was no children there. But apparently parents and other teachers were upset, so they got fired. I'm going to say this. First, maybe if the Arizona teachers were paid better, she probably would not have to go to OnlyFans. Second, and I'm going to say this, I think all the parents and the other teachers who got mad, they're probably just mad not because, where they had the sex at in the classroom after school hours. They were probably just mad that she's still getting some dick, while a lot of them can't even get a dick or a vagina anymore. Period. Third, this is what bothers me. If the teachers and parents knew that of her OnlyFans account, how did they know, and how did it come, and were they sharing it? Because apparently some of the 8th grade students found out. So I'm going to ask this question. Who's to blame here? The teacher who had the OnlyFans or the teachers and parents who are sharing the information around on Facebook and Twitter? To me, everybody's fucking guilty. Wash us under the water. It's like when there's two flags on a play, one on the offense, one on the defense. Off-settling, redo it again. Plus, I'm sorry, if you have the body for OnlyFans, go do it. And I'm sorry, I saw what the teacher looked like from Arizona. She wasn't bad looking. She wasn't a 10, but she wasn't a 5. She was about a 7. Plus, I think some of the students were upset that they didn't get to do it to her. And before somebody puts in the comment, oh, Doug, that's disgusting. Hey, we've all had fantasies about our teachers once. I remember my senior year of high school. The math teacher we had was a female. She was 28 years old. If she would have said, Doug, would you like to stay from some bonus activity to figure out what 6 plus 9 is? I would have been like, choo-choo! Hey, at least I'm honest about it. Give me credit. And the Eagles lead 27-20. It is at halftime. Just wanting to check the score. Kind of surprised this game was high scoring. I was expecting it to be low scoring in that game. Now, nobody from my high school actually watches my YouTube channel except for like a few people. Not so long ago, I was living on the streets. It was hard to find any food to eat, and I had to beg for scraps. Sometimes I went for days without food. After all that I'd been through, seeing this, Fiona snivers, her eyes filled with tears. This is such a waste of food. I can't believe you do something so wicked. That's even worse than anything I own or ever did. You rotten witch. Rotten? How rude. I'm completely fresh. I guarantee it. Oh, really? Because the owner told us you've been alive for hundreds of years. Oh, she mentioned that, did she? Gee. Gunny clicks her tongue. She of all people should know how rude it is to blab about a woman's age. But enough of that. Don't cry over the chocolate, Fiona. It wasn't wasted. You could say that, but you'd be a rotten, stinking liar. You couldn't even pay me to eat that. Not even if that was the last chocolate in the world. Now, I should point out something. This game is the censored version where you can't see the nudity because PlayStation. But this game, I've seen the nudity for this particular part. The reason Fiona's saying no is because the chocolate is all over the witch's tits and ass. If you'd like to see the uncensored version of this game, you can play it on Steam and it's uncensored in all its glory. Bask in the glory. You couldn't even pay me to eat that. Moving on. Oh dear. Chocolate is rather expensive too. Must be fantasy. If I had access to so much chocolate, I would make my lady any number of delicious desserts. I could whip up a chocolate goulash, or chocolate eclairs, or chocolate pudding. I could go for some chocolate pudding right now.
Wait, is that the same lineup? Same lineup of what? What, that you didn't second place on?
But this chocolate... But this chocolate...
You're about to win, wait a second, you're about to win $1,200? $1,000 if I get first place? I'm winning $600 no matter what. No one else can pass me. The closest guy is 40th place, and he needs at least 14 points. He needs 16 points. Bro, I should have did that. He's not gonna get it.
But this chocolate is no good at all. It isn't fit for human consumption now. Hey, Gunner pouts. I'm just trying to cheer you up after your long journey. You guys have no taste. I think the one lacking in taste and The Sissity is you. I don't know what you're trying to pull, Gardenia, but we're not interested. But you told me you liked chocolate back then. I made sure to ask you for your preferences, so I got this homecoming party just right. My lady? Nev looks at me suspiciously, her eyes narrowed. You didn't tell Ganya to do this, did you? No, of course not. What do you take me for? I'm not insane. Well, Fiona whistles beneath her breath. What is this nonsense? Oh, let me say that in the white voice. What is this nonsense? I thought I was your one and only, my lady. You got it totally the wrong idea. Don't let Garnita trick you. I never asked her to do this. She decided on it herself. Oh, my lady. Nev blinks at me with her teary eyes. Her face flushed. Do you really mean that? Of course. She's far too much for me to handle. I get that a lot. Geez, I wonder why. Anyway, I think it's high time we sat down and had a serious discussion. What's going to happen to us now? And that's what she's wearing when she's not butt-ass naked covered in chocolate. Bow chicka wow wow. It's like Lita. Big boobs and wearing a thong 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 thong. So, what do you want to do? After cleaning herself up, Gardenia invites us all to sit in her living room. Mm-hmm. It's betting. No one cares. The large iron cauldron sitting in the middle of the room continues to leak strange green smoke, and I saw some of the pickled eyes in the glass jars arranged on the shelves are staring at me. Dark and dingy, though, Gardenia's home is, at least it's easier to deal with than the woman herself. Gardenia is full of surprises. Speaking of which, I looked Gardenia up and down, my lips paused. I could always ask her about her relationship with Iona, but that's not really none of my business, is it? There's no point in talking about it. Anyway, that's because the goddess has been defeated. That's right, I assumed as much. Gardenia smiles gently, but she doesn't see... But she doesn't seem quite as trusted as one might be to hear such news. In fact, I might be gasping at straws here, but to me, she looks almost upset. I wonder why. The goddess isn't dead, you know. We only weakened her magic abilities, and with it, her resolve. Well, I suppose as much. It's not possible to really kill a goddess. Not even centuries spent in the land of the dead would do that. She was alive, but barely. She tried to conceal what she became through magic, but when we stripped it away, we saw what she really was. A corpse. Yes. I presumed as much. Goddesses can't die, but breathing in the air of the underworld for far too long would do that to anybody. Just ask the people in Detroit. I just hope she didn't suffer too much. She suffered far, far less than she would have made us suffer, had her plan succeeded. Well, I suppose so. I know it's not my place to say this, but part of me does feel sorry for Iona. She was trapped, all alone for more than 1,000 years. And that kind of isolation would have drive anybody mad. I can hardly blame her for what she did, but I think it was unforgivable, no matter her reasons. Hey, well, that's easy for you to say. You weren't involved. But enough of this idle chatter. I suppose now that you come back from your journey, oh brave and warriors, you're interested in your reward. That's right. I want to know, if I were to go back home and I haven't quite decided if I will just yet, how would that work? Quite simply, I've already prepared all needed for the spell, complex though it is. I just need to utter the incantation, snap my fingers, and then poof! Gardenia snaps her fingers for demonstration. You'll wake up in your bed in Japan like this was all a dream. And how much time will have passed in the human world? Not at all. You'll be able to resume your daily life as though nothing has changed. Or, at least you should if I'd done everything correctly. Isn't that exciting? My everyday life. Huh. It's true I've been in Aspen for a long time, and a small part of me does miss certain aspects of Japan. I miss the food and the fashion, and just how convenient our technology is compared to Aspen's. But I can't forget my feelings of rebuilt relief when I woke in my bed in the Nightmare Citadel. Finally, I thought to myself, as I set out exploring, I can do something interesting. The monstrous grind of day-to-day life had started to wear me down, and I desperately needed a break. Well, I got that in all my expenses paid trip to Aspen. I met a new colorful cast of characters, traveled amazing and breathtaking places, and defeated an array of fearsome monsters. I've done and seen and learned so very much. And now Gardenia is saying if I go back to Japan, it'd be like none of that ever happened. I return my dull office job and everything will go back to normal. Is that something I really want? What about the relationships I've made in Aspen? If I were to leave, I'd particularly miss... Now here's the thing I will point out. There are kind of a few multiple endings you can get here. But knowing how I said, we're just going for one ending. I'm going to get the other endings off stream because we're just going for one ending per thing. So we can either choose one of the four. Nev, Fiona, Eleanor, or all of them. But I am going to stick with the girl that I pretty much have stuck with since the... Because I kind of like each one of them more, but after playing this one, I prefer Nev overall because Fiona's just a dumbass. And Eleanor is too plain. Not that there's anything wrong with dumb or plain, but Nev's kind of got that little bit of insanity that I would probably lock you up in the bedroom with handcuffs and whips. Just saying. My beloved maid Nev. This is all so sudden I need more time to think, but... So, what will it be? Will you accept my offer to return or not? I will. Eleanor answers without hesitation, her back straight and her eyes narrowed. I enjoyed my time in Aspen, but I don't want to shrink my responsibilities back in Japan. The night I am in Aspen isn't the real me. This whole time it feels like I've been playing a character. I had fun, yes, but I don't want to run away from what's really important. I don't want to forget who I really am. A good answer. You sound very sure of yourself. But what else could I expect from a brave knight? I am not brave. I am anything but. I desire my character in Aspen Online to be cool and tough. But in the real world, I'm a coward. I can never say what I mean, and I always am afraid of being judged. I'm weak and shy and awkward, and it would be easier for me to live out the rest of my life as the competent, capable knight I've always wanted to be. But this isn't true. It's all a mask. I'm still not quite the me I want to be yet, and I can only achieve that if I go back home. That's the only way I'll be able to look at myself in the mirror with my head held high. How very respectable. And what about you, Viola? Will you go back? Yeah, Viola, what are you going to do? I am not sure. I still need to clarify a few things. Like what? I existed in Aspen before I ever came here, unlike... I don't know, everybody already knew about the Great Witch Viola. If I go back to the human world, would a version of me still exist in Aspen, or would I disappear for good? Well, that's hard to say. Viola the Dark Witch was never supposed to exist in Aspen before I summoned you here. But my magic is unstable, so a few things went awry. What do you mean? I created the Aspen Online, in the human world using my own magical powers. I based Aspen Online on the real world of Aspen, and used it as a means to select capable warriors to come and fight Iola on my behalf. What the players in Aspen Online did should never have affected the real world of Aspen, until you came along. Your exploits in Aspen Online was so great that it must have trickled into real life too. A shadow of you was born, based on your human self. But it wasn't complete. It wasn't quite the real you. This shadow Viola, a shadow, if you will, was finally filled when I summoned the real version of you into Aspen. If you were to return to Japan, I would shut down the servers of Aspen Online in the human world. With Aspen Online gone, and the physical body of the Dark Witch in Japan, I suppose you would disappear just like Eleanor. So if I left, no traces of me would be left behind in Aspen. No physical traits at least, just memories that would linger in the hearts of those you've touched. I see. So that answers one question. If I leave, I disappear from Aspen for good. I'll vanish, but Nev and Fiona will stay here. They'll continue to exist, but they'll miss me, won't they? Never specially. My lady, if you went, I would miss you. I would miss you terribly. My life has centered around you and your comfort for so long, it would feel like my reason for living had been stripped away. I'd be sad, yes. I know I would shed many tears, but I was thinking about what Iona said, and she might have had a point. What do you mean? I've been relying on you too much. I let my feelings for you rule me, and I don't think that's healthy. I've become so obsessed I almost started to hate myself for slavish devotion. I knew I was being pathetic, and I should try and be more self-astoning, but how could I, when you were so very kind and I owed you so very much? I told myself it was fine to rely on you like this, because you were the dreaded Dark Witch, and nobody would ever be able to best you. You would win every fight, and you would never leave my side. But I was wrong. Nothing can last forever, and I need to learn to be more self-sufficient. Even if you leave, I'll still be alive, and while I may be sad, I'll keep going on. I won't let myself give up or give in to my own despair. That's why you shouldn't worry about me too much. You should make your decision based solely upon how you think I'll react to it. You need to do this for your own sake. You need to do what you think is right. I don't want to hold you back, and so whatever choice you to do, I'll support you. I'll be able to accept your decision no matter what, and I'll smile for you right until the very end. I'm not the weak, desperate, clingy girl I used to be. I'm stronger now. I'm my own person. I don't need you to be happy, just as I'm sure you don't need me. My, how touching! Gunness smiles, her eyes shining. Well, Viola, you heard the appeal of your sweet little maid, and now it's time for you to choose. What will you do? Will you stay in Aspen, or will you return to your old life? The choice is entirely in your hands and yours alone. Nah. A soft yawn falls from my mouth. Slowly the sleep which once chained me begins to slip away from my mind, frightened by the light of the newly dawned day. Guess what? We stayed in Aspens. Woohoo! And look what she's wearing. That's what Dark Knight wants Rosie to wear. Oh, that's what Ashley wants to wear. I don't know.
Of course, the Eagles are still winning 27-20.
Yay, go Eagles. Helps me in the picks.
No, go Packers.
No, go Eagles, because if the Eagles win, I win this week in picks.
That doesn't help the Giants.
What did I say in the last stream of all picks show? Sometimes you can't pick a team to lose because of your rival. You have to be smart. That's why my one former buddy, who I'm not friends with anymore, I stopped doing picks with him because he would always pick the Steelers, Bengals, and Browns to lose. That's why he never got out of last place in the picks. No, Brad. He would always pick the Steelers, Bengals, and Browns to lose, which cost him a lot of games, because then he's like, I don't get why I'm not in first place. I'm like, because you're picking your rivals to fucking lose every week, you dumbass. I was trying to be honest. I was being honest with him. You seen me pick my rivals to win, and it's not because I want them to win, but it's the smart decision. I yawn and stretch. I sit up in my bed, the covers pulling around me. Barely I blink my eyes, wiping them free of sleep. I look around. I'm not in my small apartment in Tokyo. Not anymore. In fact, I'm as far away from Tokyo as it is possible to be. I haven't been back to Japan in several months, but every time I wake in these surroundings, so unlike anything I was accustomed to growing up, it gives me a start of surprise. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't a sickly kind of shock that twists the pit of my stomach and induces anxiety. Oh no. It's the exact opposite. It's a pleasant kind of surprise, unlike unwrapping a gift from a loved one on Christmas morning. I know this four-poster bed, these stone walls, and those arched windows. I'm in Aspen, or to be more precisely, the Nightmare Citadel. My home. The witch guardian gave me the choice to return to Japan a few months ago when me and my party defeated the evil goddess, but I declined. I like my life in Aspen much more than I ever did in my life in Japan. In Japan, I was bound by a routine. Every single day was consumed in a never-ending monstrous cycle of work and sleep. It was all so dull, rude, and predictable. I was afraid I would go insane. Maybe part of me had, though I tried to squash it down. That all changed, however, when I was brought to the colorful and enchanting world of Aspen. In Aspen, I met so many friends and gone on so many adventures. I could never dream of giving that up now. And the person who has been by my side this whole time, always encouraging me with a smile. Good morning, my lady. I hope you slept well. It was my charming maid, Nev. Eleanor returned to Japan, spurred on by some vague sense of responsibility, while Fiona left my senator a month ago to reunite with her sister. Now, it's just me and Nev, but I wouldn't change that for the world. Nev is always by my side. We go on adventures together. We accept quests from the nearby guild, and she even sleeps in my bed. I suppose that isn't very professional behavior for a maid, but to me, Nev isn't a mere maid. She's something much, much more important than that. Now, is there anything you want? Would you care for a cup of tea? Something to eat, or maybe I should give you a massage? Her maid's uniform looks neat and pristine, and her hair is neatly brushed, not a strand out of place. The maid really is beautiful. I'm fine, but I was thinking. Yes? What is it? I'll do anything for you, my lady. I know. That's one of your adorable traits. But you shouldn't push yourself too hard, all right? I won't. I know my own limits. Really? I put my lips together. I'm still not entirely convinced, despite the empathy Nev had when we were fighting Iona, but I guess I'll let it slide for now. It's such a beautiful, sunny morning. The birds are chirping outside my window, and everything is warm and tingled with gold. I don't want to spoil that. There'll be time enough for quests later, but first, I was wondering if you would mind brushing my hair. Oh, my lady, it would be my pleasure. Boobs, boobs, boob, boob, boobs. Look at the boobies. Da, 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 da. Somebody show this game to Matt. He'll get a nosebleed. No, I don't. No, I don't have a problem. I've come to peace with with my mind. I know what it is. So blah. But seriously, send this game to Matt. He'll get a nosebleed. Nev takes a seat behind me on the bed. The mattress sinks slightly beneath her weight, and I can feel the comforting sensation of her chest against my back. Ah. Nev pauses, the teeth of the comb stinging against my scalp. Are you all right, my lady? I am not hurting you, am I? If so, I apologize for my clumsiness. It's been a while since I did this last, and I may have lost my touch. No, it's fine. I smile, trying to smooth my sweet maid, who's always been so eager, perhaps too eager, to please me. It feels wonderful. Are you sure? Quite sure. There's no finer sensation in the world. Then I am very pleased to hear that. I can't see Nev's expression from this angle, but I can hear from the tone of her voice that her face is flushed with happiness. The way she reacts upon receiving a simple compliment is so cute. You'd think she'd get used to it after all this time, but apparently not. What an adorable maid she is. Then allow me to continue. I will brush your hair until it shines. Please do. I would entrust my hair to nobody but you. Nev draws the comb through my hair once more. Once in a while, the teeth of the comb glides against my scalp, and I shiver. I can feel Nev's breath against my skin. Her chest rises and falls against my back. It feels so good, it's almost overwhelming. I slightly moan, my eyes half littered and cat-like with pleasure. I love it when Nev brushes my hair. It's always so gentle, and she never tugs at any knots, but she applies just enough pressure that I can feel her presence. It should be illegal to feel this good so early in the morning. Well, first of all, there's no such thing as feeling good in the morning, because no one enjoys fucking getting up at 6 or 7 o'clock in the goddamn morning. Anybody who does is a fucking liar. Anyway. I feel like I'm going to melt. It feels so good, it's almost like I'm living inside a dream. Well, if this reality is a dream, I never want to wake up. Meanwhile, in the dark forest where the temple gods might inhabit the trees. I love using Legends of the Hidden Temple jokes that no one gets but me. After Nev brushes my hair and serves me breakfast, the two of us set out on a journey. We walked through the roseberry forest, hand in hand, our footsteps crunching through the grass. Nev is no longer wearing her maid's uniform, and I'm not wearing my favorite dark witch gown. Though the pair of us may have helped save the ward, nobody in Aspen, save Fiona and Gardenia, knows about this. To the rest of Aspen, I'm still Viola, the feared dark witch who commands magical powers beyond their tiny imaginations. As such, I cannot go out in public wearing my dark witch gown. It would attract too much attention. Ditto for Nev's maid outfit. These precautions can be quite irritating, but I don't mind. I'm just happy I can explore Aspen with the women I love by my side. Hey, Viola. Wait, maid voice. Hey, Viola. Where are we going exactly? We don't have any quests we need to complete for the Adventures Guild, do we? Well, about that. Nev may be my treasured companion who I love more dearly than anybody else, but that doesn't mean I'm always entirely honest with her. Perhaps I should have told her the real reason for our walk before we set off, but that would ruin the surprise. We don't need to complete any quests, no. This trip is for our own self-satisfactions. There's something I want to talk to you about, and I think it would be best if we do it here. In the forest? That's right, you should understand well enough when we get here. There. Nev frowns. She doesn't look entirely convinced. Does she think I'm playing some kind of trick on her? I don't really get it, but alright. The suspension fades from her face and a small smile tugs at the corners of her lips. If you think this is important, then I am more than willing to follow along behind you. Please lead the way. I shall. We should be there soon enough. What? Well, that's a good thing then. I want to buy more of these story-based games when I have the money. By the way, don't forget, December 2nd, the next Sakura Suckigus game comes out where you play as a man who's got 6 demons who want to fuck him living with him. He's got the good life. So that just means from now on, when Rosie needs to go to sleep, she'll just have me play one of these games. It would be more convenient, of course, if I could have this conversation with Nev in the comfort of our own home, but it wouldn't feel quite the same. I have something very, very important I want to discuss with her. And I know it can only happen in this forest. This is my only chance, and that's why I won't turn back. I can't. Not quite yet. A surprised gasp falls from Nev's lips when we arrive at our destination, and I can't say I blame her. I'm sure she never expected that I'd bring her back here of all places. To her, I'm sure it must seem like some kind of mean-spirited joke. We return once more to the clearing in the forest where the sentient Sakura dwells. But the tree isn't so sentient now. The goddess grudge has been wiped away, and the curse that consumed this tree has been lifted. Why did he hit me? The vaguely ominous atmosphere that once shrouded this clearing has disappeared. The large tree in the center of the clearing, fashioned with heavy vines, will never again try to attack anybody who approaches it, of that I'm sure. We were able to defeat the goddess, and in return, this clearing to normal. But Nev still looks uneasy. This place brings back bad memories. What reason do you have for coming here? I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable, Nev, but I was giving this a lot of thought over the last month, and I finally come to a conclusion. And what is that? When we confronted the goddess, she said a lot of interesting things about you. She said that though you've loved me, you resented me for having so much control over you and your life. She said you felt obligated to serve me to the best of your abilities, but you were pushing yourself too hard for my sake, and it was taking a toll on your health. Is that true? Nev frowns, swiftly walking from foot to foot. The gentle breeze runs through her hair and catches at the hem of her dress, so it flutters. It's cool and it's clearing. despite the warm sunshine that beats down on top of my head. It's quiet too. Secluded from the rest of the ward, in this clearing where few dare to wander, I feel as though Nev and I can finally be honest with each other. You don't need to worry about hurting my feelings. I gently cup Nev's cheek with my hand, lifting her face upward so her guilty eyes meet mine. We can't help how we feel. I won't begrudge you for it. If you had ever cause to resent me, I would understand. I know I can be rather overbearing. Oh, but my lady, what the gardener said is true, every last bit of it. It hurt all the more because it was true. I did used to dislike you, but not any longer. You mean so much to me now. You're much, much more than my mistress. You're my partner and my lover, and I adore you. I revive you. I can never think of disliking you now, and I hate my old self for harboring such negative thoughts. I'm pleased you care for me, Nev, but I never once doubted the strength of your feelings. I didn't bring you here to chastisement you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I wanted to tell you that if I ever made you feel uncomfortable in the past, I am very sorry. I was foolish back then, and I didn't understand your value. I treated you as a mere plaything or an accessory. I didn't really view you as a real human being. That was particularly true back in the days when I was playing Aspen Online. To me, Nev was showing nothing but a gameplay mechanic and the means to hold my extra items. But the real Nev is so much more than that. She's her own person with her own thoughts and feelings. I need to respect that. I need to respect her. But now I understand how much worth you have. Your feelings matter, Nev. You matter to me. And though you say you like being my maid, I can't help but feel that isn't quite right. It's not fair to keep you in a position of servitude, bound to my side, when we should be equals. You no longer wish me to be your maid? My lady, please. I love you. I want to stay by your side forever. And if I have to be your humble servant to do that, then I don't care. I want to remain as your maid. Please don't send me away. Oh, Nev, you silly thing. Do you really think I dismiss you just like that? Weren't you listening to me? I already said that you matter to me. You're very precious, and I'll never let you go so easily. Then you mean... That's right, I love you, Nev. And that's why I get down on one knee, taking Nev's trembling right hand between mine, and look at her from beneath my eyelashes. I don't want you to be my maid anymore. I don't want you to be my servant. I'd like you to stay by my side because you truly want to, not because you feel obligated to. I want us to be true equals, free to tell one another exactly what we think. I want to love you not as a maid, but as a woman. And I want you to love me not as your mistress, but as your partner. That's why I'm going to ask you something I should have asked a long, long time ago. Nev, will you marry me? Lesbian's getting married! Woohoo! Can I go to the wedding? Oh. Damn it. Look, even in the wedding dress... Look, even in the wedding dresses, they got big old titties. Who wants to go motorboating? I know I'm ruining the moment. And that's how I ended up in a church in Lethington, with Nev hanging on my arm. Oh, my lady. Nev looks up at me, her eyes glassy and filled with affection. I really do love you. I love you too. But you don't need to keep calling me my lady now. We're going to get married, aren't we? That's right, I almost forgot. How can you forget when we were in the church, silly? I poked the tip of Nev's nose with my finger, and she goes cross-eyed for a few minutes. Oh, I'm not making a joke about that one. I'm going to be keeping it clean for once. Moving on. Boo. Because I could have said something dirty, but you know what? I'm taking the high road for once. When she recovers, my cute girlfriend pouts at me, and I can't help but laugh. It's hard to break the habit, okay? I'm so used to calling you my lady, it slipped in my mind. You don't need to tease me about it. But Nev, I love teasing you. It's one of my favorite hobbies. Well, I guess it's okay. So as long as you tease me and only me, I don't want you flirting with other girls. I wouldn't dream of it. Now, not now. I have you. Nobody else's reactions can compare to yours. You mean that? Every word. Hee. You're such a charmer. Nev giggles happily, her cheeks dusted pink rose. I really am glad I met you, Viola. And I'm glad I met you too, Nev. The pair of us standing at the front of the church, regarded only by a scant handful of onlookers. Fiona is here, of course, and there's also her older sister Holly. The guild master, Madian, also showed up alongside a few members of the Adventurers Guild. And Awesome is here too, with several of her maids. It isn't a very big wedding, but I don't mind that. I am pleased that it's such a quiet affair. That means I can be married under my real name without having to use any aliases. It was difficult finding a priest who would agree to marry the field dog witch Viola, but Ashlyn didn't cease her searching, and she eventually found somebody who didn't balk at the idea. Ashlyn was the one who arranged this whole wedding, actually. For that, I'm very grateful. I suppose she felt as though she owed me a favor after I helped her lift her curse all these months ago. Madian and Ashlyn are sitting in the front watching us, or at least Madian's watching us. The beauty of our ceremony seems to have reduced Ashlyn to a weeping mess, because her head's buried against Maiden's shoulder. I wonder if there's something going on between those two. Well, never mind. That's not important now. Right now, Ned was the only person I care about. Video game dad. Puppies! Damn right, Mr. Jones! Woohoo! Puppies! Somebody get Jerry the King Lalo up in here! My adorable wife. Nev, your wife. I am your wife, and you're mine. Now we can stay together forever. That's right, until death do us part, if you feel so inclined. Oh, of course I'm going to stay with you until the end, always. I never wanted to leave your side. That's good. I don't want to leave your side either. Let's go on all kinds of wild adventures. I want to see the whole Aspen with you. And I want to see Aspen with you too. Come to think of it, you haven't seen Outdoors yet, have you? It's really a nice town, parts of it anyway. I'd love to introduce you to my family. Then let's do that. We shall have so much in Aspen I want to see, and I'm going to see it all. I'm sure the sights this world has to offer will be more special with you by my side. Oh, Viola. Nev, I really do love you. I dip my head, my eyelashes falling shut, and press a kiss against my wife's lips. This wedding isn't the end, it's only the beginning. It's the best beginning of a brand new adventure, with the woman I love more than anything at my side. I'm sure I'll cherish this memory forever. And that has been Sakura MMO 3. Now, here's the funny thing. Yeah, thank you for reading. Yeah, Skip, thank you. That was weird. Thank you for reading. Oh, yeah, it's got to go through the credits. Here's the thing. We've beaten the game, so we've beaten all 3 games in the series. Mr. Jones, I know I didn't get your picks. I know you're just let me know who you had in Facebook Messenger. Eagles up big right now. They lead by 11 points near the end of the third quarter, 34-23 over Green Bay. Dave's actually having not a good week. He's actually got, because he lost all 3 Thanksgiving games, which made me laugh like a hyena. Now, as you can see, though, we have one thing that unlocked. So we're not quite done yet. So Rosie's probably going to fall asleep soon because of me. And that is the extra. Remember at the first part I said the extra stays locked until you get one ending. So with that being said, because remember the goddess we just beat? Well, she has an ending as well. So I guess this is the end. The revenge I've been plotting for hundreds of years fell through, all because of that so-called dark witch and her party. It's so ridiculous I could laugh. How could I let myself be bested so easily? I am a goddess. I am stronger than they are. I know I am, and yet, when I saw my reflection in the mirror, I flattered her. I tried to mask what I became with my magic, but my mirror can cleave through all lies and deceptions, even my own. I guess I've been in the underworld for too long. I hardly know who I am anymore. Would anybody believe me if I said I never used to be like this? All these centuries ago, when I was still a goddess, I was an innocent, naive young woman. I loved all living creatures that roamed Aspen, and I loved my husband, Aaron. I loved my cute apprentice, too. Gardenia. I trusted her unconditionally, but she broke my heart. Though I loved my husband dearly, I think I loved her too. And then she betrayed me. Her betrayal stung. It twisted and warped me until it became a being unrecognizable even to myself. I turned against my husband. I turned against the whole world. I attempted a coup, and I failed. I was banished to the underworld for my follies, and here I've stayed for hundreds of years. My flesh melted from my body, and my heart ceased to beat. But still, I could not die. As a goddess, I can never die. I hope to escape from this awful place, and remake Aspen as I saw fit. But I was thwarted. Centuries of careful plans were ruined. Now I'm on my own again. I can cloak my hideous face with magic, hiding my true self, but that's nothing more than an illusion. Though I look pretty on the outside, on the inside I'm rotten. And now I'm here, decomposing in the bowels of the underworld. Who cares how I look? There's nobody here. I'm all alone. At least I should be, but... That gem the upstart Dark Witch gave me. She said I could use it to clear my loneliness. I examined the gem in my hands. Though I'm deep beneath the surface of the Earth's crust, surrounded by the thick stench of death and decay, the gem hasn't lost its luster. It shines brightly, like a star in the sky. Certainly it's emboweled with magical, powerful magic. It must be strong to shine so brightly down here. It was made by a talented mage. My fingers cramp down around the gem. I shudder. It was made by her. Her magic is similar to mine, for I'm the one who taught her everything she knows. Gardenia. Her name tears my throat like a razor blade. I wince. I told myself I hated her. I vowed I'd never forgive her for what she did, but part of me still yearns for her. I miss those happy days when we would while away time together, reading books, experimenting with strange potions, and feeding one another freshly picked fruits. I protected her from the other gods. I taught her all I knew about magic, and she taught me true happiness. It'd be a lie if I said I didn't value the time we spent together. I was different back then. Happy. I think she was happy too. But that all changed when I saw her in my husband's arms. Did she mean to betray me? Up until now I never questioned it. It was easier to justify my rage that way. I painted her as a villain, but was I mistaken? Perhaps she didn't try to take my husband away from me after all, but then, if I was wrong, I condemned myself to a lifetime in the underworld for no reason. I never asked Gardenia what happened. I never asked her how she felt. I was so blinded by my hate and rage, I couldn't think straight. All I could do was seethe. I've not seen her again since that day. I thought I hated her. I wanted to hate her, but if I have this gem, if it lets me talk to her, I might as well see what she has to say. I mean, what will I lose? Everything's already been taken away from me. I doubt things could be worse than they already are, so... Why don't I scratch this old wound open? A little self-harm can hardly compare to what the gods have already inflicted upon me. And so with a faint smile painting my lips, I concentrate upon the gem in my palm. I know how this gem works. Though I've never seen it before in my life, I'm Gardenia's mentor, and after all, I taught her everything. She owes her magical powers to me. So of course I understand the enchantment binding this gem. I understand it better than anybody. I closed my eyes, letting images of Gardenia dance through my head. The times I let her wear my jewelry. The times we sat by the lake watching the white birds fly across the water. The times we stayed awake until the early hours, laughing beneath my covers, telling jokes and silly stories. I remember it all, in such a wild rush it almost hurts. My head pounds. And then... Ah, look, more lovey-dovey go-on-go action. Okay, that's the same score. I had to look again at the football game. Ah, a soft grabs forced on my lips. Finally, for the first time in centuries, I can see her. I can feel her. Our minds have merged together perfectly, for we used to be as close can be. I know her almost as well as I know myself. I know the sensation of her fingers tightly gripping my own. I know how softly and silky her hair is. I know the scent of her skin. This really is... Gardenia? Hyola, oh, I'm so glad. It's been too long. It really is you. Gardenia sounds positively overcome with emotion. She sniffles, blinking her eyes damp. Is she going to cry? Silly. I shake my head. You never used to be a crybaby. What's gotten into you? I just can't help it. I've tried to be strong, but I've missed you so much. You've missed me? More than anything. But how can that be? You are the one who betrayed me. You seduced my husband. No, that's not it. It isn't true. I wanted to tell you, but I never had the chance. And I was afraid you wouldn't believe me anyway. I was a scared little girl back then. But I confess to you now, I'll let you know everything. Everything? That's right. If you really must know, then... Gardenia looks at me from beneath her eyelashes, her expression's unusually downcast. This is definitely unusual, coming from her. She was always such a bright, cheerful character. But as time passes, I suppose we all change. Aaron, he was the one who kept pursuing me. No. I choke on the air, my throat closes up, and all of a sudden it's hard to breathe. Not that I truly needed to breathe for the last few centuries. If I wasn't a goddess, I'd be dead by now. Part of me already is. That's not possible. But it is. That's what happened, Aurora. I promise you. I loved you a lot. You took me in and you took care of me. You showed me how to use my magic and you helped me grow strong. Whenever I had any worries, you were the one to comfort me. You were the best mentor I could have hoped for, and I really did love you. You loved me? Yes, I still do. I never would have hurt you like that, but Aaron insisted. Whenever we were alone together, he would sit a little too close for comfort and whisper all sorts of things in my ear. I thought about telling you, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I knew how much you loved him. I tried to deal with it as best I could. I pushed him away time and time again until that day when I found you. That's right, you saw us together, and I broke your heart. I felt so guilty I just wanted to throw my arms around you and apologize, but I was afraid that would make things worse. You were upset and I was paralyzed by fright. I didn't want to be killed by the woman I loved. Oh. I searched Gardenia's face and expected to find a trace of lie, but I can't. She looked earnest. She sounded earnest, too. I can feel the warmth of her body against mine. Her heart beats beneath her chest, as it has for centuries. I haven't seen her in so long, but... You still love me? More than anything. But you sent those ghosts to kill me. No, that isn't true. I knew they would never be able to truly kill you. You're a goddess, after all, and a goddess can't die. But I did want them to stop you. I couldn't sit around and let the woman I care about into a monster. I love you, you see, I've always loved you. And that's why I had to stop you before you passed the point of no return. I wasn't only trying to save Aspen. I was trying to save you, too. Oh, isn't that sweet? Love conquers all, children. Unless you live in fucking Virginia. I've been devoted to you for my whole life. Then why didn't you try and find me yourself? If those girls were able to enter the underworld, you could have. I know, but I think I must be a coward because Gunnar bites her lower lip. In the end, I was still scared. Scared of what I'd become after all these years? No, not that. I was scared that you wouldn't listen to me. I thought you'd kill me if I dared show my face to you. And admit it, I was right. Well, I want to deny this accusation. I'm not a mindless monster, even if I am a god. Hatred and revenge, I would have obliterated her on the spot. I would have never listened to her. That's where all these problems started. If only I'd listened, but it's too late for regrets now. Don't look so sad, stupid. You should be celebrating. In the end, you won. You defeated me. The Dark Witch exposed me for what I really am, a failure. No, you're not. Gunia stares at me, her eyes imploring and pushing her chest against my own. No matter what you say, Honor, I still love you. I always loved you. And that's why, if you want, I'll spend the rest of my life with you. You mean you... I blink at her. All of a sudden, my throat feels dry. You'll come and keep me company? In the underworld? That's right. But you're not a goddess like me. You're not immortal. If you spent too long in the underworld, you'll die. So? You care about me that much, huh? I'm glad. I was afraid you still hated me. But don't worry, Anna. I'm tougher than you think, and if you give me some of your magic, it should be fine. If we do that, we can be together. That's all I've ever wanted. I know I play the fool a lot, and I do some wild things, but that was because my life felt hollow without you. I was just trying to fill a void, but I don't need to do that anymore. There's nobody more important to me than you. Oh, Gardenia, my cute apprentice. Now I see I made a terrible mistake. I sigh. But that's my life in a nutshell, isn't it? I've done many things I'm not proud of, but if you can accept me despite how ugly I am, inside and out, then you must be some kind of saint. Nah, I'm no saint. I'm far from it, in fact. I've done a lot of shady stuff in my life, but it was all because of you. In the end, no matter what happens, Gardenia smiles at me fondly, her cheeks flustered. I'm just a dumb girl who never got over her first crush. Even if your crush tried to doom the world. Even so, that doesn't matter to me. The only thing that matters is you. And with that, ha ha. Gardenia presses her lips against mine on a soft, gentle kiss. It's a kiss of forgiveness, rebirth, and second chances. My heart may have been broken once and led me to perform a series of terrible acts, but if I'm with Gardenia, maybe I can finally be able to heal. I can be happy. Then I won't have to keep cursing the world. Aspen will finally be at peace. And that is the extra. So everyone gets their happy ending in the end. See you guys later. Have a good night and and be safe on Cyber Monday, folks.